Hello everyone! Merc's Rain back again with more Enigmatica 6 Expert. This is episode 38 now, holy cow, and man, do I have something amazing to show you. If you remember, in the last episode we found a block of corundum from quark in an Atom chest. See all these little sparkly effects happening? Look at this! Look at this. Alright, so I was able to take one single block of white corundum, what we got in Atom, and then bring it down here to the bottom of the world. This is basically under my bee farm, my original bee farm, so that it's chunk loaded. And it can grow up to 4 blocks tall, and every time it grows, it has a chance to also make the clusters on there as well. So I can just come down here anytime I want and basically just mine it out. And just like that, some has already regrown, but look at this. I had nothing in my inventory, and we got almost a full stack of blocks, and more than a full stack of the clusters. We're set for life. I can also imagine we could probably use refined storage deconstructors down here, and maybe a vacuumulator or something for the clusters, and then automate this whole process. With all of the corundum clusters that we've gotten, a little bit of strange sand, and then some ghostly glass, we can turn around here and use our induction smelter. This will produce crystal glass from Atom, just what we needed. Make our energizing orb. We have the rest of these items set up and in place. We just needed 5 pieces of crystal glass. It's slightly hard to see, but we have black ceramic tile slabs down here, and we have a machine frame right here. So all we have to do is put our glass bits in. Now this won't automatically start because we have all these empty spaces. That is why we have this button. It also helps if it has power. There it goes. Energizing orb obtained. There is one other thing I had done a little bit between episodes, and as you can maybe tell on the walls behind you, I have a lot of artifacts from Atom now. There's all sorts of different things like bows, and these are basically tridents. This is a special hoe. We've got some body pieces. I'm hoping to get the full sets of these pieces of armor. And so in this barrel, next to the Godforge itself, I have a bunch more that I'm going to break down. These are things that I may already have. Like, I have this ring on in my, the curio slot, and what this does, halves the damage from undead. So that right there, I mean, half the enemies are undead, so right there I'm already losing, or gaining a 50% shield, which is awesome. I also have this Isis's healing on as well. Regenerates health slowly while equipped. These are very powerful on their own, but I already have them equipped. So we're going to go ahead and break these ones down. Shoes Exile, Geb's Toil, I have one of those on the wall. And Montu's Blast I already have on the wall as well. I have these two over here, and I feel like maybe we'll try and get one of each. Something that turns out to be very important, though, are the Osiris God Shards. And let's go ahead and take a look real quick at Osiris. There's only, as far as I'm aware, Lantern of Osiris, which you have to craft, so we can't get that one. So there's only 2 of these Osiris pieces. There's the Blessing, which I want to hold on to one of these. I have one on the wall. What this does is it makes tilled ground is blessed with increased growth rate. I haven't actually tried this yet, but we will eventually. And the other one is Osiris's Mercy. It has 3 uses. When you die, you will keep your equipment and your active items. That's also not a bad one, but it's the one I ended up breaking down. Why do we need this? Why is Osiris God Shard important? Well, let's take a look. It's important in the Energizing Orb. Osiris God Shard, uranium dust, 2 of those, and then 6 million FE. I mean, 6 million is a little bit, I'm not gonna lie there, but this gives us 2 spirited crystals. These spirited crystals in here, if I can find it, will let us make spirited capacitor. We need 4 crystals to make a capacitor, and then from the capacitor, well geez, we can make a whole bunch of things, like the fernator. spirited. Actually, there's a better recipe over here somewhere. This one. We're gonna make this Fernator Spirited. This is gonna be basically what we have down below, like a Stirling Dynamo that uses charcoal to make energy. And if you remember, down below we're only making like, I don't remember, 240 RF a tick, something like that, right? That's our cap. This thing can produce 4,000 RF per tick, or FE per tick, and it can actually store 140,000, and it can pass on 14K per tick at any given moment. So this thing is greatly gonna outpace what we have down below for our power system. We're gonna get this today. All I need is gonna be a few more of these Osiris God Shards, as 4 is only good enough to make 1 spirited capacitor. And if you wanted to see the process, right, we just break these down and it gives us artifacts. Look at them all. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing any of the Osiris pieces. I know. In the last episode, we said that we were going to start off this one making the Ritual of the Forest, right? This like ritual structure, multi-block, and we were going to actually have to do some magic things and make some different ingots and whatnot. However, at the time, I didn't think that we were going to be able to get to the Energizing Orb. Not only do we now have our Energizing Orb, right? We have 6 Energizing Rods. Crafted them all. This is actually going to let us start, right? We're going to be able to make some things, and we'll see. I have some of these Osiris God Shards. I probably still need more than 8, but I'm slowly amassing all of these pieces over here. Okay, we've made another temporary, temporary air quotes, because we haven't moved any of this temporary stuff yet, but we've connected onto our power right here in the back, routed over here. We have the 6 energizing rods here. They're actually all fully charged up now. They're ready to go. Here's our energizing orb. They're close enough. They should all be able to activate it. If we look, we're really after these spirited crystals. I don't know if we're even going to try to make the neotic ones right now. Yeah, like resonating gem and stardust, I just don't think we can make. However, right, the spirited ones, we can. Of Osiris and uranium. Not too hard, but we will start with an easy one just to make sure that everything works as anticipated. And it uses a lot less power. 1 frost steel and 1 electrum. Also, I'm not sure, can I put in, like, the full 10? Maybe not. Done. This works just fine, and I can easily manually do this. However, we could also automate this pretty easily, I think, by using pretty pipes. It should be able to connect to the bottom, filter on what you want to pull out, maybe a chest here, filter on what you want to send in, and that would work out just fine before we actually get our refined storage system up and running. If you were wondering where the 2 brand new energizing rods came from, well, I forgot to accept my quest reward from the energizing setup. Here it is. It gave me 2. I now also have a battery, which is a curio slot. We'll take that. I don't know if we're going to use it anytime soon, but now we're going to go ahead and try to make this spirited crystal. And it's going to give us some fancy items here as well. But this is going to take 6 million FE. We only have 1 million in the battery, so we're going to, I think, very quickly drain our whole battery. 1 Osiris God Shard and 2 uranium dusts in order to make 2 spirited crystals. Here we go. 1, 2. This is also going to take some time. I'm not going to make you sit here for it. Hey, look. Our first craft is done. 2 spirited crystals. Now, we can also speed these up a little bit as well, right? Let's go ahead and take a look, right? We have the Energizing Rod Basic. If we want to make the Hardened, it does take the Basic, but we can make these Hardened Capacitors now. They take the Energized Steel, of which we've already made, and then a Basic Capacitor Large and Dielectric Paste. You might be thinking, maybe we could go all the way up to the Spirited, but unfortunately, they do take the tiers below them in order to craft. So because we're not going to be making the Energizing Rod Neotic or Blazing at this time, we won't really be able to go up to Spirited, which is unfortunate because that would significantly speed up our processing power. But we're going to try and keep going in order to get the Furnator spirited today. So this is going to need 2 of these spirited capacitors. 1 spirited capacitor takes 4 spirited crystals, which is 2 crafts. So we need to do 4 crafts in total. Here is our Hardened Energizing Rod. I'm only going to make the 1 at this time, just because of time and resources, but we will eventually get them all upgraded. We can see the difference already. This thing can hold 100,000 FE, and it can only transfer 50 FE per tick. But this one can transfer 135 FP per tick. So it's actually like 2.5 of these. So it should give us a nice little speed boost. In it goes, and charging we are. Increased power is right around the corner. We have just obtained our 2 spirited capacitors, and now I think we have everything we need to make this, although I do probably need to put those casings in there. Request. Oh, and the Sterling Dynamo. Okay, so it's not finding the Sterling Dynamo, and that's gotta be because my dynamo that I put in storage here actually has power, so it's probably got a slightly different NBT data. Furnator, spirited. Wah, bah, 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 bah. Power, complete. I mean, not necessarily complete, but here's our block of coal and a Powah loot box. What's in the loot box? Dry ice. That may come in useful. Let's go ahead and install our new Furnator. We should be able to literally replace all of this with the 1 block we've just made. However, I don't want to do that just yet. Let's go ahead and just put this in as we normally would. And we'll make sure it works before we disassemble the rest of the stuff. There we are. Charcoal in. We have a stored bit of power in here. It generates 4,000 FE per tick. And then facing up is the extract. I think we get another major benefit from this. So I don't think this uses any sort of fuel when it has power, right? Like it just doesn't constantly burn it. Whereas these steam dynamos, even when they're not being used, they are still actually putting output of 10%. They are always burning a little bit. I don't know if it says it in here somewhere, but you're always losing some sort of fuel even when you don't need the power. With our Furnator in place, you might think we are ready to get the refined storage system up and running, and we can, but let me show you the problem. When we put the refined storage in, here it is, it's still using 686 FE per tick, and we really want to even add more things to this, right? So it's going to keep burning more and more and more. If we come over here and take a look at our charcoal, we have 60 times 64 plus 12, right? So now we're down to 11 of that stack, and this is going to go down to 10 of that stack, up to 11, but then it's going to go back down to 10 again, and we're going to eventually hit 9. So basically what this means is we are burning the fuel just a bit faster than we can produce it. So what I'd like to see, look at this. This is one whole piece of the charcoal just being burned through. All of it's gone, and it's going through it quite fast. We're totally able to keep up with the power demands. I'm just concerned about the fuel demands. So what we're going to do, well, first off, we're going to turn this off. Ooh. We're going to turn it off, sort of. Like, we're going to turn the refined storage system off, and then what I'm going to do is we're going to just come over here, and we're going to break this, and that's going to prevent any more charcoal from going in. And then I'm going to take all of this out, and what we're going to do is we're going to let this go ahead and burn down a whole bunch, because we do have over here this running, the centrifuge. We got a bunch of stuff to process. So it's going to keep using power until this is eventually out. It has supplied the battery with everything it's got. And in fact, if I really wanted to speed this up, I guess we could plug the refined storage system back in. And depleted. Okay, now I can unplug that refined storage system before we lose all of our power. Of course, the centrifuge is still running, so we are still burning. But what we want to do is we want to see how much does one piece of charcoal generate. And this is what we can see over here. Will one piece generate the whole 140,000? Will it generate more than 140,000? I'm not sure. So let's go ahead and see what happens when I put this one. Actually, we also want to disable that right there. You know what? Let's disable this one right here. That way it doesn't go out at all. It'll stay right inside the system. One is 48,000 FE. So with this knowledge, we can do some math, but 48,000 FE, we're gonna go ahead and put this on a sign so that we don't forget. So our next big task in order to get the refined storage system actually operating without burning out of all of our fuel is we do need to process logs into charcoal faster. And I have an idea, right? We could potentially replace this furnace with the create sort of method. Let's go ahead and take a quick peek at that. If I just take out one piece of charcoal, we look at how to craft it. Of course, right, we do the smelting like we're doing today, but we could do bulk blasting. So we could drop like a full stack of these onto a conveyor belt that's being bulk blasted, and it might be more than a full stack, right? We might have a whole line of charcoal that might be faster than this current system. That's one option. The other thing that we could try real quick is if we take out our two flux linkage amplifiers, right, these speed up processes, and we take our two flux efficiencies out, this just makes it use less RF. We could throw these in over here and see how this keeps up. I've just plugged the refined storage controller back in, and we're gonna watch this real quick. 27, 26, if we go back up to 27 and then 28. Yep, back down to 27, we're gonna hit 28, and then we're gonna hit 29 again. So now we are not burning through the coal faster than we can produce it, so that is a good sign. However, we might be burning through the logs faster than they're being created. That's just something we'll have to monitor. The next thing I'd like to try is this hardened integral component. I believe we just right-click it on this and it will upgrade the machine. However, I do want to be careful with this. I'm going to remove the augmentations just to ensure we don't lose them. Look at that. Okay, so the amount that it can store has gone up, but also the speed has gone up. We can see that our energy use without anything in it. Oh, it takes an augmentation slot. I didn't realize that. I wonder if we can just, like, put multiple augments in here like this. Is that technically just better than these? I'm really not sure. Either way, with this hardened integral component slotted in there, and then our flux linkage amplifier and two of the efficiency modules, we're now at 112% efficiency. We're burning 64 RF per tick, but look how fast we are producing this charcoal. I have done some work to hopefully make sure we do not run out of our fuel source. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's been done. So in here, this is our back hall. I'll probably put like a door here or something, and I don't know. It's kind of ugly at the moment. Maybe we'll just decorate it up. I have moved our energizing orb setup back just a little bit so that it's out of the way so we can come in and move around. When you come in, you'll see there is now this whole big new room. Our tree farm is coming directly into here now. So this is where our logs are going to be stored, not outside anymore. The outside location was nice to begin with, but it kind of became awkward later on. So let me show you something else. Over here, I have replaced our timer outside with this, the RF Tools timer, and this is set for 1,200 ticks, which is 1 minute. So every 1 minute, this will send a signal through. Now the signal is fast, it's a very quick pulse. So I have a 4-tick delay redstone repeater here just to ensure that we don't lose the signal, right? And then here is our wireless redstone link, which I will show you upstairs real quick. But the logs come in here, and we have void upgrades on the saplings and on the sticks at the moment. But then we have an output on the back, and if I can come back here real quick, you can see it. This is a high extraction with a high speed increase. That's why they're zooming through this pipe. And then that is, of course, feeding our redstone furnace. And, you know, we could move this back here, and maybe we should move that back here. We just need to be able to route power back there as well. Going upstairs, let's see what we've done outside. Aha! Oh, a lead. Thank you. Our place looks a little different. We have now finally removed our original sort of timer system here. That was the etho hopper clock, routing into an AND gate. Yeah, it's all gone. We still have that one redstone link over here with the logs, so you'll see once a minute passes, this thing will go ahead and fire up. And it used to only be these 2 trees that would, you know, grow, and it would zoom around there. But now we've created a much larger track. Oh, here we go. Boom. And there we go. So we've drastically increased how many trees that we have to potentially harvest. So I'm hoping we won't run out of logs. We've also increased the time that this thing runs. It used to be a full etho hopper clock, which I honestly can't remember. It's either 5 or 10 minutes. And it would run that whole 5 or 10 minutes, and then it would stop for 5 or 10 minutes. Now this is just one loop every 1 minute. So we should actually increase our rates by quite a bit. Outside, we did used to have an AND gate that used to be able to trigger the thing on or off. Now, that's what this does here. So you'll see the timer. I'll let this one go. We'll get that that log, or that we'll get that tree. There it goes. So what this does, though, this is a manual shut-off switch. When I flip the lever down, the timer is now stuck at 1200. It's not going to change, and that's because we have pause while redstone active is turned on. So that's a great little system. However, wouldn't it be better if it was automated? I think so too. We do have the option, right? So this here, I have a redstone upgrade in here, and currently we have a power of 9 coming out of here. We could route something, right? A little bit of power, a little bit of redstone, to run off of this and maybe go into a little logic gate that tells it, hey, if the power is greater than, I don't know, 14, that probably means we're almost full of logs, shut off the system. We could do this a number of ways, right? We could have a computer down here that's just got a really simple program. We could probably use one of those red pen sort of tools. One of these, the redstone logic control. And that's just to name a few. I'm sure there's a lot of other options we could do. We will definitely pretty this up in the future, but let's go ahead and take a quick look at the slight modifications made here. We now have the output coming out the bottom because the back is being used elsewhere. This is still a manual shut-off switch, right? But check this out. We now have the redstone logic control right here. And this is saying if the drawer is at level 14, turn on. So we're just checking the yellow side, which we can currently see is 9. And if it's 14, or technically 15, we will output a signal of 15 on the redstone line coming out the side. So if the lever's on, or if our drawer is basically full, this will turn on, which will lock the timer and prevent the signal going out. Otherwise, every minute, we're getting a signal sent to our system. Great mini success. Our charcoal storage is now currently full, and we're definitely amassing more logs. And so with that, we have come to the end of this episode. I know we didn't build the ritual altar or anything like that. It was just, you know, one of those things. We eventually did get the items we needed to make our energizing orb, and then we're really close to having refined storage actually sort of set up now. Now that we have the Furnator, spirited quality, of course, we can produce a lot more power, and with our fuel situation under control, we should be pretty good. So, In the next episode, I expect we might have to do some magic. We might get to do some magic. But I think we're also going to play around with the refined storage just a little bit and see if we can truly keep up with the power demands. But I really appreciate you coming and hanging out with me today. This is Merc Serene, signing off.